This is Sonic Boomers, episode number 67, Name Brand versus Generics. Now, first of all, we want you to know that there are 66 other episodes from which to choose. And of course, the most recent ones have our new Sonic Boomers title on them, while the bulk of them have our old Mixing It Up with Pete and Maureen title. But every show that we've ever done since day one, way back in December of 2019, is in there. We invite you to check out some of our favorite episodes. They are entitled The Last Legal Prejudice in America, Mom and Dad, I'm Gay, and Ancestry DNA, Be Careful What You Wish For. That one was a doozy. And if you're wondering why I seem to be out of breath, it's because I just came up from the basement before we started recording to bring a chair up here because Maureen still has the nice, comfy office chair. I got rid of the piano bench that I've been using because it makes too much noise. So I had to run downstairs and get a folding chair. I'm sitting on a pillow on top of a folding chair. Can you believe this? You see how I'm suffering from my art?
Oh, rank has its privileges.
I brought the folding chair up, and it was like sitting at the kiddie table here. It was too low. I was waiting for somebody to pass me the cream corn. So, and you know, I almost had an office chair this week.
I know.
Somebody in our community Facebook page posted that they had an office chair, come and get it. And I jumped in the car. I ran over because it's like 3 minutes from the house here. It was already gone.
I know.
Somebody was loading it into their car.
Just minutes.
As I
Missed
got
it by
there.
minutes.
And I wanted to say, put down that chair. That's my chair. So here I am sitting on the folding chair this week. Well, maybe next week. By the way, since we are calling ourselves the Sonic Boomers, and we're talking about name brand versus generics this week, you might be thinking that we're talking about name brand drugs versus generic drugs. That's not what we're talking about, and we hope never to have to go there on this show, because it's not what we're about. We're talking about the things that you buy every day, especially at the supermarket, but it could be anything: cars, TV sets, bicycles, consumer electronics, coffee makers, basically anything at all.
Okay. And it was interesting to see what our friends thought as well, because we'll be sharing that a little bit later in the episode as to what a lot of you have as favorite brands.
We had a big response on that.
Yeah. I guess
we had a bigger response on that than we did about how do you feel about Okay Boomer.
Yeah.
That was a flop. I have to tell you, that show was a flop.
Well, as far as input goes, I think the show still
it didn't do too well on the number of listeners either.
Oh well.
So hopefully better this week. So what are we going to start with our picks, and then we'll filter the ones that were mailed in later.
Okay.
Also coming up toward the end of the show, we'll have our Boomer Trivia quiz too.
Of course. Can't wait for that.
Okay, go ahead with your list.
Okay. In no particular order.
Okay.
When it comes to mayonnaise, I'm very fussy. It's Hellmann's or nothing.
I agree.
That's just a
I
given.
agree. I will gladly pay a little bit more for the Hellmann's than the store-bought.
Absolutely.
Just not as good.
It isn't.
And I don't know why. Because what is mayonnaise? It's eggs. It's some kind of oily
vinegar, probably.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of hard to screw it up.
Well, I think it's the proportions.
But theirs is the best.
You know, some of them have a very artificial taste to it.
Yeah.
And I've always liked Hellmann's. If I can't get Hellmann's, I will take Kraft, but it's a poor second.
By the way, mayonnaise is really good to use if you have hardwood floors and you have little. I feel like Heloise here.
I was just going to say, what is this?
Heloise the Third. If you have some scratches in your hardwood floors, you rub some mayonnaise into it, and the scratches disappear. I do it here at Yellow House.
Oh, I know you do.
And it works like a charm.
The house stinks for.
But that's what you get the store brand for.
Right.
For doing the floors. Don't waste the good Hellmann's on doing the floors.
The other thing that I really am fussy about is when it comes to colas. Now, other soda flavors, I'm not so fussy about. I'll take a store brand. But when it comes to cola, it's got to be either Coke or Pepsi.
I agree.
There's no two ways about it.
Yeah. Because again, you can taste the difference.
Yeah, and there's just something about the flavor of cola. I don't know why it doesn't translate well into some of the generics.
Do you know the difference? Can you taste the difference between Coke and Pepsi if they did the blindfold test on you?
I don't know.
I could.
I think I
I'm
could.
positive that I could.
I don't know. I think that a lot of times you trick yourself into it.
I never liked Pepsi. I always liked original Coke, and now that I'm drinking sugar-free, I like the Coke Zero.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I think I would, because I do make a slight difference between the two, but blindfold, I don't know. I think sometimes you fool yourself by, when you see the container and you say, oh, this is Coke. I know this,
I don't know. We have to do that someday.
Yeah, one of these days.
Blindfold each other, and they're gonna blindfold each other, and they're gonna taste soda. When there's other stuff that you could be doing blindfolded, and they're not doing. Well, that's a whole nother show. Keep going.
All right, ketchup.
Okay.
I love Heinz.
So
ketchup.
far, I'm agreeing 100% with you.
Well, you're the smart one. Heinz ketchup.
Yeah.
Cereal. I like name brand cereals.
I could go either way on that.
I mean, years ago I economized, especially with the kids and stuff, and would get like those bags of cereal that it's a supermarket brand, but they never really were quite that good, and they got stale faster and stuff. So I'm kind of fussy about my cereals.
Okay.
Tuna, I like either Star-Kissed or Bumblebee.
Again, I could go either way on that. Because I just went to Lidl and I bought the whatever off-brand they had.
Ruh-roh.
You've already had it, and you
Okay.
didn't know. So
Well, shame on me.
that one I don't find much of a difference.
Okay. When it comes to my guitars, I like a Taylor.
You are now walking on holy ground. When you talk guitars, it's like talking microphones to me. Talking guitars to Maureen, you are on holy ground.
Well, I really like Taylor these days.
Yeah.
And although my sixth string is a Breedlove, which is a brand I never heard of.
And it's really good.
And it was recommended to me by the salesperson in the store because I was trying all the different, name brands. And he's like, try this. I'm like, I never heard of it. He goes, try it. I tried it.
Try it.
I
You'll
liked
like it.
And I did. And I bought it. And I'm very happy with that one. But that's not a brand that you hear about a lot. And it's not carried in a lot of
Now,
places.
I want to point out that every time Maureen gets a new guitar, it costs about 1.5 times more than the guitar that preceded it.
Well, I got to upgrade.
So now that you've got the Taylor,
right.
you don't get another one.
All right. Well, unless it gets stolen again.
Unless I'm carrying it, because I'm the roadie when we
yes.
perform at church. If I'm carrying and I fall and I break it, then you get the new one.
Do I trip you?
And you get and you get the upgrade.
All right. I like my Bailey's Irish Cream as far as a beverage goes.
Oh my God, it's so expensive.
But it's so expensive.
It's crazy what they're getting for that.
We found another one called Ryan's. It's still expensive because Irish cream just is an expensive drink.
Yeah.
But it's a lot cheaper
It's about
than
half.
the Bailey's.
It's about half the price of
And
what I pay when I used to get the Bailey's. It's about half the price
it's
for
pretty
the large
close.
bottle.
It's pretty close.
It's pretty darn close.
It's like Coke to me. It's like Coke and Pepsi. I could taste mild differences, but not enough to warrant the price tag. Hot dogs, I like Sabrett's or Nathan's or basically any of the ones that have the crunchy skin on them. I like.
Well, that's the casing. Like the ones that we like are the Sabrett inside the natural casing. So when you bite into it, you get that.
Yeah. You want to do that again? So that's that. I was thinking when we were talking about this, do you remember back in the day when Pathmark first started the No Frills brand? And they were white.
Yes.
They had like no...
The white with the black lettering.
With
and that
black
it
lettering,
just said peanut butter or
Right,
whatever.
right. I was just thinking about that. Some of those were good,
Yeah.
and other things
Some of
were
them
horrible.
were awful.
But you know, I remember those, and now ShopRite has their generic brand. Now was it Bowl and Basket?
Bowl
or
and
something?
Basket. I get their coffee, and it's really good.
And some of the things there are pretty good.
Their peanut butter is real good too, especially the extra chunky that I like.
Yeah,
Really good.
So I mean, you know, I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm a label whore or anything like that.
That'll be me.
There are certain ones that I am willing to compromise on, and the other thing that I think makes a good secondary product is Suave. If I get like their shampoo, their deodorant, a lot of their, you know, beauty products.
It's cheap and it's good.
It's cheap and it's good, and I don't see much difference.
I don't think it's any different than the more expensive shampoo or conditioner.
Well, and they, if you look at them, they kind of emulate the name brand.
Well, remember the generics used to say, if you like Prel,
Right,
you'll like
exactly
our brand.
Right, and I think Suave tends to do that. They make shampoo, but they don't make just one kind. They make a whole bevy of them, and you know, some of them are kind of like Prel, and some of them are like I don't know, the different more expensive brands.
I think there's reverse engineering in a lot of those products where they get the expensive stuff.
Right.
They take a look at the ingredients. If it's electronic stuff, they take a look at what makes that tick. How do we build the same thing cheaper?
Yeah.
So I have a feeling that's probably what they do with Suave and those things.
Maybe, but that's
Especially when it says, if you like
exactly.
some other more
they
expensive
were,
brand.
So you know that they were trying for,
Yeah.
you know, a knockoff or whatever. But those are just a few of the ones that you know, I would be fussy about.
Okay. Time for Pete's Picks?
Sure, go
Pete's
ahead.
Picks. If you're buying a television set, stop spending all this extra money on Sony, on Panasonic, on LG. I was an LG guy. Our very first flat panel TV was an LG. And that's got to be, 15 years old now, if it's a day?
I think so.
Never, knocking the wooden table before him, he said, never a day of trouble with it. And we run that thing all night because we like to have the TV in our room all night. And it's been perfect. I bought another LG, thinking that the first one was so good, for the man cave downstairs. Piece of crap. Just what big disappointment to me with that television. So I found this company on the internet looking at TV reviews. There's a company, I think they're a Chinese company called TCL. And there have been rave reviews about their televisions. TCL makes their own televisions. They don't farm it out. They don't farm. The most important part of your TV is the flat panel. They don't farm it out. They make their own. Okay. They do their own R&D. They build the product apparently from scratch. They are excellent televisions. We have a 55-inch TCL 4K in our living room, and it's beautiful. Do you agree?
Oh, I do. You know, it's a nice, clear picture.
It's gorgeous.
Everybody that comes over says, wow.
Yeah.
You know, and I think it's great. And the price was right.
The price was, I think we paid $600 for it or
I
something.
don't think it was even that. It was on sale. It was some crazy
We got
price.
it through Amazon.
Yeah.
If you're interested, look it up on Amazon for TCL 55-inch television, and you'll look at the prices and say, like, wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the sound that you will make. Wow.
Yeah, we got that right after we moved in here because our old TV looked really small
43-inch TV
in the living room. In our old living room, it was the perfect size, but here it looked kind of dwarfed. Yeah. So we splurged and got.
I have a very big man cave downstairs.
Yes.
And the TV down there looks a little dwarfed.
Yeah, well.
So definitely a 2 thumbs up, and if I had a third arm, I'd give you 3 thumbs up for TCL television. Coffee makers, Keurig.
Yeah.
That's all there is. Keurig.
Yeah, I mean, at least as far as the pods go.
It's the new Mr. Coffee.
Yeah, yeah.
Peanut butter, Jif is really good, but like I said before, the ShopRite bowl and basket, much cheaper and really good.
Okay, I'm not a peanut butter person,
Yeah.
so I really don't care. I always would have gone for Skippy, but, it doesn't matter to me.
Coffee. I like Lavazza. It's an Italian coffee, and it's a dark coffee. It puts hair on your chest.
Well, that's what I want.
Maybe I should rub some of it on my head. But again, it's a
I thought
little.
you were going to say something else.
It's a little. Keep going. It's a little expensive. ShopRite bowl and basket. I like to get the Colombian or the French roast. You get a box of 36, and it's cheap.
The pods.
The pods. Yeah, and we have the thing that our coffee maker sits on with the 3 drawers in it. 12 pods in a drawer. Put a whole box in there. Good to go.
Yep.
Gets me through a couple of weeks.
Yep.
Let's see. Milk. Well, milk is milk.
Yeah.
I don't know if somebody has better cows. Remember, Borton's used to say they had contented cows.
Yes.
I'm a happy cow. Let me tell you, this guy that milks me, he's got great hands. It just feels so good. I'm so content. Yeah, milk is milk. Soda, I agree with Maureen. It's got to be a brand name. Again, I'm partial to Coke Zero these days. And yeah, you can taste the difference. Remember even C&C. C&C was one of the big off brands. I never liked C&C.
Like I said, I don't mind, if I'm going for orange soda or root beer or something like that, I can go with a lesser brand. But
Cola it's got to be Pepsi or Coke. Bread, I like the Sara Lee whole wheat. It's cheap. It's gets the job done. And again, bread is bread. You throw the stuff in the bowl, you mix it up, you put it in but you got bread. I mean, how hard can it be? Pasta. Pasta is pasta. Okay, I don't care if it's Buitoni. I don't care what brand it is. To me, pasta is pasta, although I like the whole wheat. But I'm not particular to any name brand. Tomato sauce, now that I've got an opinion on.
Do you?
Yeah. Tomato sauce, I really like Newman's Own.
Yeah.
Especially the Saccaroni.
Yeah, that's got a bite to it.
Saccaroni's got a bite to it. That's why they call it Saccaroni. It's got a lot of stuff in it, and it's really good.
I like the Prego, too. Especially I think they call it garden vegetable. It's got like a lot of stuff in it.
Do you like the ragu?
Not really.
And when we were dating, what did my father, rest his memory, what did my father say to you?
Oh, Maureen, you got to get ragu. You know what ragu means? Ragu means sauce. In Italian. Yeah. That's all people eat.
And that wasn't true. I never said to my father, it's got to be that. It's got to be the ragu. I never said that.
No.
But that's what he bought, and I guess he had it in his head that, well, if Pete's not complaining about it, he must like it. But I never had any big partiality toward ragu. Wine. Well, first of all, I only drink red. And I know that sounds snobby. And I've had and I've had friends say to me, "Oh, Pete, I wish you would try some. There's some delicious white wines." No, I like red. I like Merlot. I like Cabernet. I like Shiraz. I like a red blend. And I am really crazy about Glen Ellen. And wine snobs are going to say, "What? It's a cheap wine. It's a California wine."
Right.
It is the one that they serve at the Huck Finn Diner up in Union. Because I said to George, "What is that wine? It's really delicious." "Oh, it's Glen Ellen, but my customers love it." And for the 1.5 liter bottle, which is the big bottle, $7.
Yeah.
$7. And it's tasty. I also like, there's this company that I found called Bogle. Fantastic. A little more expensive. Not crazy expensive, but like maybe $1 or $2 more than the Glen Ellen. But again, delicious.
Yeah, I've had their Merlot, I guess it is.
Yeah,
and
delicious.
I
And Apothic. The Apothic reds are just, again, a little more expensive than Bogle, but not crazy expensive and absolutely delicious. Cars. Well, we kind of like our Hyundais.
We've had a lot of them.
We've had a lot of them over the years. It's a good bang for the buck, good warranty. Never had any problems with them. Again, knocking on the wooden table.
I was going to say, I'm afraid after this
I know, I've
we're
jinxed us now. We could be in for a tough year. But yeah, we love our Hyundais. My dad, he was not partial to any one kind of a car. I remember we had Fords, we had Buicks, we had Chevys. I learned to drive at a 68 Pontiac Tempest with the 350 cubic inch 8-cylinder. That thing was
Did it have posi traction?
that thing was a rocket. My uncle, he would buy nothing but Ramblers. Not until he went to work for General Motors. then he started driving a Chevy. But prior to that time, he was a Rambler man. Remember, like Gene Shepard used to say, his father was an Oldsmobile man.
Okay.
In the Christmas Story movie. My dad was an Oldsmobile man. Bicycles, Schwinn. Now, Schwinn is made by a company that bought... The Schwinn bike today is not the Schwinn bike that was around when we were kids.
Yeah.
The name was purchased by another company, and they make bikes under various names, Schwinn being one of them. But for me, there's just a comfort to the name.
Okay.
That's all. It's just like you hear Schwinn bike, and it's kind of like putting on a comfortable old sweater or something.
Yeah.
So I have a Schwinn bike. Clothing, here is where I must admit to being a label whore.
Yes, you are.
And I love thrift shopping. I love going to, especially Unique. That's like my favorite. But I do look at the labels.
I know you do. And
I have a closet full of Pierre Cardin and Jeffrey Bean and Michael Kors and all kinds of stuff. And of course, people will say to me, wow, is that a real Michael Kors or is that a real? And I'll say, well, yes, it is. And I stop there. I don't tell them that I got it for pennies on the dollar at the thrift store.
yeah.
You know,
yeah.
it's kind of fun for me to,
I know you get a kick out of that.
yeah.
And it's funny because I don't look for any particular label. I just look for what I like and what fits, and, you know, I go from there. But quite often I find myself, you know, like in a blind test,
Yeah.
I will lean towards Liz Claiborne. And I don't, you know, I will, in an array
Yeah.
of things.
I think, didn't
I
your
will go
sister
for that.
lean toward that too, Liz Claiborne? I remember there was something that she was partial to.
Yeah, I don't remember. Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like the Jeffrey Bean stuff, and I used to buy that in the Jeffrey Bean outlets,
Right, we
which
used
don't
to go-
exist anymore.
I know.
That-
They used to have some nice things and
That
good bargains.
broke my heart. So yeah, I am a label whore. I do love wearing designer labels, but I refuse to pay full price for them, and you can find them in the better thrift stores, and you can really bag a bargain. And who doesn't love bagging a bargain?
Yeah.
Let's see, sneakers. Well, you know, right now I like my New Balance, but there's also this new Skechers one that apparently has like a really high arch in it now. I think they're calling it the Arch Fit that I want to try. But I think sneakers, I don't know, I think I could go either way.
It's not any particular brand. I just try them on and see what
Yeah.
feels comfortable.
Yeah, right now, you know, I like the New Balance.
Yeah, I have hard to fit feet, so I have to just try them and
Growing up,
see.
my mother always got the cheapest stuff that she could find because she didn't have the
I was
budget
gonna say
for it.
we did too.
But
I mean, I
grew up
remember.
with the cheap sneakers.
Yeah, I did too, and I remember finally getting a pair of Keds and thinking who I was.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know?
When I got my first pair of Keds, oh, man. And PF Flyers.
PF Flyers was another
When
one.
my
yeah.
mom finally broke down and let me get the PF Flyers, which, by the way, did not make me run faster or jump higher. I was still getting beat up a lot as a kid. Got the PF Flyers expressly for that purpose. It didn't help.
Oh, too bad.
Didn't help. Macaroni and potato salad. ShopRite brand.
Yeah, I guess.
ShopRite. Cold cuts. Again, I like to get them fresh at the deli counter. I mean, Lidl has them in the half-pound pre-packs.
Right.
And they're okay. They're okay. But I actually found it cheaper at the deli counter.
Yeah.
In the ShopRite. And I like that they cut it up fresh, and to me it just makes a little bit of a difference. And the store brand is fine. I don't need Boar's Head or the other top brands. If they've got the ShopRite there, the generic brand is fine for me.
Yeah.
I mean, ham is ham, right? Salami is salami. Roast beef. Again, does somebody have better steer?
Well, the only thing I will say with like something like ham is sometimes some have more fat in it. Like, you know, it's got more white marbling in it.
Yeah.
Or sometimes they make it with like a glaze on it. So when they cut it up, there's like a little bit of a border around it that's like maybe Virginia ham with like a brown sugary taste, or a smoked ham with like a smoker taste. That is a little bit different than the generic brand, but again, I'm not that fussy.
Hey, how about hot dogs? We said it's got to be Sabret.
Right.
Got to be Sabret. Mustard.
Well, you know me, I won't eat
You
mustard.
won't eat. Maureen has never eaten mustard knowingly.
Knowingly.
I did slip it to her secretly a couple of times, but knowingly she will not eat it. Gouldens and French is good. I think it's a little better than the store brand. But there's also this Black Bear that I've been buying at the deli counter now. Again, more expensive, but really good.
Okay.
Jelly, I like Poliner and Smucker's sugar-free. Is it a lot better than the store brand? No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so. Toothpaste, I don't care. My friend Joe Caraselli says get a name brand toothpaste. Anything is good. Shaving cream, I like the Edge.
Okay.
Because that's really smooth and
Smooth.
Razor blades. The more expensive Bics, stay away from those cheapy little yellow plastic razors. They don't cut you often, but when they do, they cut you deep. I will tell you that. And I do like the more expensive Gillettes, not the the $20 razors, but the ones with the plastic, the solid plastic handle. It's got with the rubber grip. It's got some heft to it. And I like the Gillette and the Schick, and I know some guys swear by Wilkinson sword blades, and you can't get them anymore in the United States. Wilkinson sword is Schick.
Oh, okay.
They bought it. So in the United States, they market it under Schick. If you go to England, they market it under Wilkinson sword.
Okay, interesting.
So those are my picks.
All right.
Now it's time for what we heard from our fans.
Yes. And I guess we'll go through.
Yeah.
Some of these are duplicated because there were certain brands that a lot of people liked, but
that's good because then it'll show us the favorites.
Okay, Michelle Sauer likes Kraft mac and cheese, and she says it does make a difference.
Vicky Torriello, and yes, we are related, says Velveeta mac and cheese is even better than Kraft. Oh, I see a fight coming. The two of them are going to be out in the schoolyard throwing down, and I don't know. Vicky, I love you, but I think Michelle might take you. I'd pay to see that. She says Tide and Downy, Oreos, and Pepperidge Farm cookies, Jif peanut butter, Heinz ketchup, ShopRite. I made a typo. Shop tight. I don't want to spend a lot of money. I'm shopping tight. ShopRite brown mustard, Hellman's mayo, Barilla or DeSico pasta, Tudoroso crushed tomatoes, Tropicana orange juice, Haagen-Dazs ice cream. I will buy ShopRite organic milk, butter, sour cream, eggs, half and half, frozen veggies, and whipped cream. And iPhones, it's got to be an iPhone.
Okay.
I agree. I agree. Go ahead. It's your turn.
Anita Benita.
Hi, Anita. Love you.
ShopRite graham crackers. A friend shipped here a box from South Jersey to her home in New York City.
Yeah, she lives out on Roosevelt Island there in, I guess that's Queens at that point in the East River. And our mutual friend, Don Tandler, shipped them to her from South Jersey.
Oh, nice.
My friend, broadcast engineer extraordinaire George Cole says, my first reaction is no product loyalty born out of compassion and opening the proverbial door to all. Oh. All right, George. That's cool.
And then our good friend Ed Popolarski.
My brother from another mother out in Washington State.
Says Harley Davidson. And this is funny. He goes, if I have to explain, you wouldn't understand.
Ed, you're going to have to explain to me because and Ed is like a motorcycle. It's a beautiful motorcycle. But I honestly don't know the difference between that and, say, a Yamaha because, I don't ride motorcycles. Yeah. It's not my universe. So, Ed, just drop me a note one day and just explain it for me. Chris Quimby.
Our girl
Miss Chris says Coffee Mate. She won't compromise on Coffee Mate. She says she's enjoying the podcast and she loves the new name. Thank you, Miss Chris.
Ann Sipsky, Hellman's mayonnaise. Anything else is usually gross.
Yeah, her real name used to be Ann Snapansky, by the way. Then she changed it to Sipsky because it's easier to spell. Joe Caraselli. Joe Caraselli says, the old adage, buy cheap, get cheap, is most often the case. Sometimes You can get along with buying a generic brand, but not very often, he says. I refuse to compromise on Scotch tape. And at first I thought he was joking when he wrote that. And he wrote, no, not joking here. The cheap stuff winds up stuck to the spool, and then you have to pick it off with your fingernail. Also, don't buy cheap toothpaste. Always buy name brand batteries. And Joe, is it batteries or batteries? And he says, you're doing a superb podcast. And again, love the new name.
All right. So we're getting some feedback on
Yeah.
that, which is great. Christine Hogdara likes Heinz, Q-tips, and Hellman's.
I always like to dip my Q-tips into the Hellman's when I'm doing my ears. Slides in nice and easy. Karen Colty says Hellman's. Boy, Hellman's is running away with this.
Uh-huh. And Lois Mark says Cheerios for her
But
husband.
for my husband, see.
Well, I don't think she eats them.
Okay. Carol Oliveri, our friend of many years, says always Hellman's Mayo. Another vote for Hellman's.
Susan Powell says Coke or Pepsi.
Mm-hmm. Peggy Harris Bell says, I'm on the Hellman's bandwagon.
And Marianne Zagar says Hellman's,
Wow.
Jif, and Welch's grape jelly.
Wow. A runaway for Hellman's Mayo.
Yeah.
So those are the favorites as called in or emailed into us by our listeners. And if you have email for us, you can write to us at sonicboomers@protonmail.com. And remember that you have to use Sonic Boomers as one word or otherwise it doesn't go through. sonicboomers@protonmail.com. And again, I have pushed the wrong button. You would think that I would learn how to do this. Let's see. It's over here somewhere. This is the one over here on the left. All right. It's time for our Boomer Trivia Quiz. God, people have to be saying, no, Torriello is such a jerk. The guy's been in radio how many years, and he still can't push the right buttons on the damn mixing console. What is going on with that? All right. Time for the Boomer Trivia Quiz. Play along with us. We get the questions out of the Trivial Pursuit Baby Boomer Edition catalog. And are you ready?
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay. What category are we going to go for? Are we going to do
Pick whatever
TV?
you want.
All right, let's do TV. Okay, this is going to be your question. And the question is, what TV character's favorite expression was, what a revolting development this is?
Oh, man.
What a revolting development this is. Your time begins now. If she gets this right, I will plot.
No, I think this is going to be a bust for me this week. I could kind of hear it, but I don't know.
Oh, I'm sorry. The answer
So
is
sorry.
the answer is Chester A. Riley from The Life of Riley.
Oh, no, I never.
Okay, you want to redeem yourself a little bit? I'll give you another question about The Life of Riley.
I never watched that.
I'm giving you a chance to redeem yourself here, Maureen.
It's like redeeming myself.
Because sometimes you really pull it out of the fire.
Okay.
All right,
Or
here we go.
someplace else.
Or someplace else? Who were the two TV actors that played Chester A. Riley?
I have no clue. I didn't watch it. I don't know.
All right, stop the clock. Stop. All right. Another epic fail for Maureen.
Another. It's my first one.
Well, you didn't know. You didn't know the name of the TV show.
Right. But this is
The Life of Riley.
Out of the weeks that we've been doing this is the first week I didn't get the question.
This is your second epic fail today.
Okay.
Chester A. Riley was played by Jackie Gleason originally, before the Honeymooners. A much slimmer Jackie Gleason, I should point out. And then by William Bendix.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right, time for my question.
All right. This is from the publisher category.
Okay.
What Peanuts character once philosophized, there's no heavier burden than great potential?
There's no heavier burden
Than a great potential.
I'm going to go with Schroeder.
No.
Do I get a second chance? How about Linus?
Linus.
There we go. Does that qualify as a ding? Ding that I got it on the second try?
That's a half.
All right, a little bit of each. There we go. A little bit of each.
Okay.
All right. So those are our trivia questions for this week. I think one week we should just do the whole show, just firing trivia questions back at one another. I think our listeners might enjoy that. Hey, listen, we want to thank you for listening to this week's edition of the Sonic Boomers podcast. Again, remember that you can watch us on Facebook. You can watch us on YouTube. If you're looking for us on Facebook, you can find it under Peter Torriello or Maureen Conroy Torriello.
Yeah, right.
You can also find our video on the Sonic Boomers Facebook page.
Right.
It is on YouTube at the Sonic Boomers Podcast. Mm-hmm. And you can write to us at Sonic Boomers, one word, at protonmail.com.
And that amount covers it.
Yep. Join us again next week for another edition of the Sonic Boomers Now. Go out and make some noise.